Hello, I am Tatiana.
And I am Val, and this is Risk and Hustle.
And today we're sitting down with Dan Gamache. I hope I said that right. Better known as Mache, one of the most recognized custom sneaker artists. He's worked with some of the biggest athletes and brands in sports, turning sneakers into a one-of-a-kind piece of art. We're excited to hear the story behind how it all started and what the journey has been like. Mache, welcome to Risk and Hustle. Thank you so much for being here. We are so honored.
Yeah, hey, you guys got me hydrated. We're good to go. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you for actually supporting us for many years. I feel like we know you just because we've heard so much about you and just kind of been following your journey for quite a few years. But where did you grow up?
Poughkeepsie, New York.
Oh,
Where they're from. My parents were there. We lived in a trailer park and went to FDR High School. I actually just got asked by my little high school to speak at the school, and also for the junior high and then the superintendents. So it's kind of a cool full circle thing because
that's actually a big deal.
Yeah,
to get asked by your high school and go back to where you came from.
I remember when I was in 6th grade, they had Ricky Horton, who was a pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals back in the day. He was from my park. And they brought him in. I thought it was so cool that they brought this person. And now it's I'll give you one of those people. It's kind of crazy.
That's really cool.
It's
so
surreal.
Are you doing that soon?
I had a call with them on Friday, so we're going to figure it out.
Awesome.
So I hope it's soon. Somebody said to do it. I don't want to have to make me wait a year.
Right.
Or to
I'm sure they want to do it with the current class.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm from Poughkeepsie. Lived there most of my life. And then my dad passed away when I was in high school, it's 30 years ago now.
Oh.
And my mom remarried, and then they moved down south. My wife, who I met now, it was originally from the Westport, Norwalk area. Okay. So that's how I became a Connecticut resident through marriage. Yeah. And we moved to the Danbury area because at the time it was a center point between Norwalk and Poughkeepsie. Right. So we moved to Danbury, and everyone moved, and we're still here.
Yeah. And so you've been married for how long?
2014. So we're going on 12 years.
That's a question you ask a man all the time. We always got to think about it. We got to make sure we say the right cookies.
Been with her since 2007. So together. So that's yeah. Love her. Want to kill her some days. Yeah. That's marriage.
That's marriage. That's how it is with that. So let's get a little bit into obviously we want to dig deep a little bit. You just told us you grew up in Poughkeepsie, but knowing you, I know you as an artist. I don't just see you just as shoes because everybody talks about your sneakers and everything else, and I'm just how did this start for you? Were you always into sneakers, or was it something
drawing?
Because I see you drawing, and I'm always
it's all of it. So growing up, my grandmother was an art teacher. So she was always, if I wasn't playing sports during the summer, obviously my parents would work, they bring me there. I wasn't playing baseball. I was at my grandma's house drawing in her studio. I would just go and blast music, and I would just be drawing all day. That's kind of what I did. Or I played with football. That was how I grew up. Yeah. Played sports all my life. Art always came easy. She never taught me anything. It was just totally hereditary. And my mom can't draw a straight line with a ruler. That's a totally skitty generation. So, so I've always been proficient at art. It always came easy. Even when I was playing baseball in college, I took all the art electives, basically to be eligible to baseball, because I knew I could just show up and I could do what I do. So that was always easy. Sneakers, and growing up, in the 80s, 90s, I grew up in the Jordan, Bo Jackson era. That's sneakers were how you got confidence. We were pretty, middle class and whatever. But, mom wasn't out there spending $100 on shoes every single time. Even back then, $100 was crazy. Now it's 2-3 times that. So I was shoveling driveways, mowing lawns during the summer, and I would get my money to get my shoes. And I'd buy my one pair for school. That was it. Then it'd become your play shoes, so if you destroy them. But I had an appreciation for that because I obviously earned the money to get that. And, live life, play college baseball. There's a very, very long story. I went to a junior college because I didn't want to leave my mom. Because when my dad passed, I went to the Dutch Community College, which is just down the road from where I'm from. Took their classes. Actually took baseball class, which was just basically kids throwing bag practice and shagging balls for the baseball team. And I was throwing bag practice. I'm striking out the baseball team left and right. So coach was like, "You mind staying after class and Pete practicing with us?" Yeah. So I ended up being on the team. For played that season was all conference, all region. I pitched in Old Yankee Stadium.
Wow.
Way back in the day. It was like the upstate team versus the city team. So it was like us versus all the Dominicans, the Puerto Ricans, and then we're down the Bronx and Queens, and I ended up pitching, and and it was a surreal experience. There might have been like 2,000 people, so the stadium looked like it was empty in the Yankee Stadium, but to me I just saw radar guns, and it was surreal. So second year, had another good year, and I actually was offered a minor league contract with the Reds.
Wow.
I turned it down because it was like a $3,000 signing bonus, and that was it. And I had a lot of friends in the minor leagues, and I was like, I saw what that life was, like living on a bus and all that stuff. And I was very realistic. I was like, I'm a big fish in a small pond. I barely made this junior college team.
Was that a little bit of a dream to be an athlete?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, but like from my hometown, there was a lot of small town politics. So I didn't really play because I wasn't a name. We weren't the cool people in this town. We were donating money to boosters and stuff like that. So, so I never played. Well, the guys on my team knew I was good, but I just never got the chance. So college, it's a whole other thing. The little politics isn't there.
Yeah.
So I had offers to go to different schools after the JUPEL, and that's why I didn't go take that contract. Because I was like, maybe if I get better in these other schools, maybe I'll get a better look, or maybe I will get drafted. Who knows? Get out of the trailer park, get out of the 8 Mile. So I played for a year at College St. Rose up in Albany. It's not there anymore. It actually closed down like last year, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because they were a very good art school and very good sports school. But I didn't want to say it was because they had a really strong art program. I know my portfolio was really strong from my college. So they ended up giving me a half scholastic and half academic scholarship for hard and for baseball. So they have to waste the whole full scholarship on me because they were going to give me a full ride for baseball. Then they had to do something besides throw baseball really hard.
Right.
So I got the half and half scholarship. And then going into my senior year, I tore my rotator cuff in labrum. And the dreams, the small dreams that were there, dashed down and whatever. So I'm back to the Poughkeepsie and went back to Dutchess for a little bit and was coaching the team I was at. I was pitching, coaching, hanging out. Yeah, obviously. With junior college baseball teams, it's a very mixed bag. It's either people that are like, didn't have the grades to go to a bigger school. People that just could be like 45-year-old guys smoking cigarettes in the dugout, or it could be like whatever it is. And I'd be befriending a bunch of guys. And Sunio Nianta was there scouting some of the other guys. And I had already graduated down my bachelor's at St. Rose. So I was like, well, I still think you're of eligibility baseball-wise. If you got to go to Oneonta, I was like, I'll go get my master's. I went and I played first base at Oneonta for a year. And I was DJing up there. I was working a Full Locker. I was having the college experience because
DJing.
Oh yeah, I DJ. Yeah. DJ Moshmurda was my time. Yeah.
See, that I didn't know.
Yeah.
You really had your hands full.
Yeah.
Athlete, artist, and DJ.
Jack of all trades. But yeah. So then school got out and didn't know what I was doing myself. My brother was working at a school for autism in New York, and he was like, "Hey, I know it's hard finding an art job, so, if you want to, get you a job doing this and, working with the kids." So I was doing that. It was basically like one-on-one care with kids with all the different developmental disabilities, whether it was like autism, Down syndrome, the whole spectrum, whatever it was. Right. Working with them. And then this is where the crossover of sneakers and custom started happening. I saw a magazine of someone doing custom sneakers. And I was like, oh, okay. And, me being the natural competitor, I was like, I could do better than that. So this is before MySpace. This is before any of that stuff. So there's no YouTube. There's none of that stuff.
No social.
Nothing. So there's no resources. So we're like, I went to Michael's and bought like paint and I had some Air Max 90s and, just started painting, terrible in hindsight. But like, I'm wearing them around to the barber shop and they're like, oh, when did Nike buy with those? And it's like, I made them. And they look, fast forward a month later, every barber in the barbershop's wearing my shoes. And, they're kind of like social media for me back then, word of mouth, guys coming in like, oh, shoes dope, who did them? And they send my business card. My business card had like my phone number on it. Goes to show you how naive and stupid I was. But then I got a MySpace and that blew up, and there was a very small amount of people doing custom shoes. I could probably count on two hands how many people I knew doing it back
Yeah, the
then.
MySpace. You remember that? That was the craziest time.
But that was really like the start, right? Of like social media.
We were learning how to do an HTML coding and stuff like that. Like you weren't
songs and Oh, I used to call my friends and be like, "Hey, can you do this for me? Because I don't need to."
Yeah.
So that was right out of college for you.
Yeah.
So in college, though, was the dream to be an artist?
Well, no, I wanted to be. I still want to be a law player.
So okay.
Yeah, I mean, and again, art was always there.
Sure.
Like that was always there. That always came easy. So I wasn't like I was.
But if you thought of an art job, what would it look like back
When I
then?
was younger, I wanted to be a comic book artist. Like so, I was always looking at the the Marvel ones or the whatever. And like I never really cared about the stories. Dude, I just like the old artwork.
Yeah.
So that's what I was focused on. But then I saw all that. But then I had ins at Pixar, and I was gonna do storyboard art because a friend of my stepfather's was one of the head people at Pixar, and we went out to Emeryville or outside of San Francisco and went to the campus and all this, and it was very, very overwhelming to see. Like it's like a college campus, like it's crazy, and it was just like. Yeah, I put my resume in, and I had my in, but I was so, I guess, what's the word? Overwhelmed or intimidated by it. And I was like, I don't know, this isn't really for me. So the custom shoes part of it, I started doing that, and then as I got better and better, I actually felt comfortable charging people money. Well, I was like charging like $50, $75.
So would they buy the shoe and then you would just customize it?
Yeah, it was all local, and then as I got better and better. The sneaker scene became a little more widespread. This is still before even Instagram. This is still MySpace time. And I remember the Funk Flex car show down in New York had a sneaker show, a sneaker battle.
I've been to a couple of those.
Yeah, and I put out a table for that, and I won best themed custom sneaker and whatever. And at the time, Fat Joe was like their big special guest. So I made a pair of custom Air Forces and gave them to him.
I'd probably been there at that time, but
Yeah, how would you not?
I wasn't really into shoes. I mean, not that I wasn't into shoes. I couldn't afford any shoes. So my thing was just looking at cars.
The shows were dope.
Yeah, the shows were dope.
Yeah, very much so.
How do you get to Fat Joe? So you're at
walk
and you just walk up and just give him the shoe?
I would introduce myself and through
the risk.
Yeah,
you gotta just do it.
Are they open to it? Like, are they
back
asked about how security? Is that anything?
Well, I was already kind of in with the show because I already had a table, so they weren't gonna sit. I wasn't just like.
What's the worst they're gonna say is no?
Yeah.
People will just say free.
I don't want free shoes. Another similar story was I did. I gave shoes to Pharrell as well, and the same kind of thing happened. This is where this is when it was now Instagram's happened. It's still in the very infantile stages of that. And I remember this is when they were on tour with Kanye. When Kanye was still Kanye, and they're at MSG and they had an in-store at the BBC store in New York. And I took the day off from work and I had done a pair of custom ice creams with Pharrell's portrait on and whatever. And this is I'm gonna give them to him, whatever. Stood in line all day. And, as you're saying in line, you're sort of talking to people. Everyone's around. I'm standing with a shoe box. So, they're like, what's in the box? So, I'm doing it for a couple hours. So, everyone's seeing the shoes and they're like, oh, these are awesome, whatever. So, it comes to be 5 o'clock. And I guess the in-store was getting done because they had to go to MSG for the show. And I didn't get in yet. I was like, this ain't happening. So I threw a bunch of business cards in the box, and I went to the security guard. I'm like, do me a favor. Just give these to Pharrell. And he was like, just give them to him. I'm like, just give them to him. I want to have them. So the old BBC store originally was all glass. So I could see the shoes going up the stairs and up to that. And then
at least they're not just holding it.
I'm watching it like this, sweating. And I remember they were getting ready to leave before Pharrell pops his head out, and I could kind of see him mouthing, who, then this sort of security guard points to me, and
you're like,
comes over, and he was like, thank you so much, these are awesome, I'm going to take them to Japan or show. Nigo, who's the Beta Hate guy, he goes, thank you so much. I'm going to post them on my blog. And back then, the BBC blog was massive. That was Hypebeast, pretty much. So I was like, all right, cool. And weeks passed, and maybe a month later, Pharrell's, thank you so much, Moss Customs, for these dope ice creams. Go to his MySpace.
So he gave you a shout out.
Yeah, he did, and it was very cool. And I just remember, I remember how little he was, and his hands were very ashy.
Yeah.
That's the only two things I remember. But he was a very dainty man. It was awesome. You know, like again, it goes to show you that someone who says you got to do something actually did it.
Yeah.
And it also shows why he's still in the position he's in now, because he's a man of integrity.
So how do you know his shoe size? Is that like public information?
It is now. I just guessed.
Just okay.
I mean, at that point, if it's just like on display on a table, that's
Right.
no matter.
Whatever.
So those are kind of the stories that was happening. Then, when I was telling you about my wife and just kind of seeing, this is when I started dating her. So she kind of was.
So is that before Pharrell or after Pharrell?
Before Pharrell.
Okay.
So if she was like, yeah, she's like, you're not working anyway. I'm paying the
Yeah.
bills, so no. So so I'll just kind of.
Well, let's actually get into that a little bit.
Around
No, I love it. So how long have you been married? I know we talked about it a little before, but
12 years it'll be this year.
we have practice.
I know.
I practiced.
Well, because technically it's 11, but it's going to be 12 years in April.
And you guys have been together for how long? Since you said it was since 7. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
So
18 years?
How long were you in the business?
2005.
Yeah.
2005.
less.
I know.
You were 19. So
Very young. So you meet your wife. You're already kind of doing sneakers on the side.
Yeah. I was still just painting on the side, doing it for fun, and I was definitely taking on orders and stuff, and I was getting better what I was doing. But she was the new girl at the job, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna peacock a little bit,
And you were working where?
I was working at Star Nick in Norwalk. It was a agency for adults that had adult disabilities, whether it was like putting them in group homes, giving them employment, different kinds of things. I was a case manager. It was just like, why are you here in this agency where you have this? And she was basically like, you really need to go and do this. And, she, I don't say forced me out, but, she definitely encouraged me to go out and do that. And so I was doing other work while I was doing that. I was selling credit card processing door to door, the cold calling. But keep in mind.
You're that annoying people that call us.
Oh no, I didn't call. No, I would walk in. I was the one to say the owner's not here.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yeah, I was like, there's charges on your credit card machine. Just grab your statement. I was like, I was very indifferent. I'm like, yo, I don't know if I can help you. I was like, but I can. I'm going to tell you. And if I can't, knock yourself out. And I was the king of indifference, and I've always been that way. Like a
salesman.
But I wasn't like, it was funny. Like I learned all that stuff, and I carried over to what I do now. Like a lot of that stuff. But anyway, so I was cold calling a sneaker store in the Trumbull Mall, and I was in there, and there was a magazine that I was featured in the store. And they're like, "Why are you doing this?" Yeah. So I was like, "I keep hearing this." So like, I'm like, "Well," I was like,
got to make a living.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not doing shoes like that yet. I was like, And what ended up happening was the owner was like, "Hey, we're gonna open up a store. Maybe have you manage it, and you can do the customs and whatever." And it ended up being, I don't know if you remember, Stash House in the Denver Mall. It was a sneaker store that did like consignment store.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was by JCPenney, like in the corner.
Oh yes, in the corner there. Yeah.
So
it was a plain
brilliant. Oh, it was all bad. So what ended up happening was like, at the time, it was shoes were on assignment, and the owner was never there. I was managing the store, and then I was still doing custom sneakers.
That's why I remember you.
What kind of shoes? Was it just like
there? No,
yeah, like rare?
No, they were selling Jordans and phone, like whatever it was. They got Jordans came out, they consigned them, whatever. So then I was managing the store, and I was doing customs in the front in the window. Like I was doing my own thing. Like, and I was just running the store in the corner of the mall is not hard.
Right.
You know what I mean? I could do both. But then what happened was the custom stuff blew up, and I was doing, this is when social media and Instagram started happening. I started to kind of bubble up a little bit, and I started to get more traction, and I was just busy. And I remember got to the point where, for one, the person that owned the store wasn't paying the consignees for their stuff. I was like coming out of pocket paying people because like I was the face of the store. Yeah. So like I was like, I'm saving face here. But it came to a point I was like, okay, I was like, he'll eventually pay me back. Thinking, No, it didn't happen. So finally I was like, yo, I'm like, I sat him down and I was like, I gotta leave. I was like, so much is going on. I was like, for one, I have this opportunity with the custom stuff. I was like, I need to deal with my own headaches, not yours.
Yeah.
And I remember he said to me, he's like, well, if custom stuff never works out, you can always come back. Always stuck in my head as like an FU to me. I was like, okay. And at a spite, I was like, I'm gonna prove him wrong.
I've heard that before.
Yep. So, and fast forward, guy ended up, I don't know if he ended up in jail or what. Like a whole bunch of crazy stuff happened. And I was like, thank God I got out of there.
Yeah.
So, and the custom stuff, again, Instagram was, at the time, I didn't know it was a social media app. I thought it was just a photo editing app.
Right.
So I'm taking pictures of like my food. I'm taking pictures of my stuff. But like those,
I think that's how everybody's
with those crazy filters, like the SQR filters, I thought they were so cool and whatever. But then finding out people were seeing it and stuff, and starts at like 1,000 followers, and then it gets like 15,000 followers, and it gets
Were you selling right off of like Instagram, or did the store kind of allow you to sell as well, like in store?
No, well, I had walk-ins. I handled my own stuff for that.
Yeah.
But that was all under the table, whatever. But Instagram people were just DMing me, or I just had an email, and they'd email me and be like, hey, I want to get this on this. How much is it? And that's kind of how I was doing it.
No.
And then I was just working at the house and doing that. And then, who was my big breakthrough with Instagram? I mean,
That was my next question. Is like, what was your big, like, how did let's say, like, I've seen you worked with a lot of celebrities. What was it your first days? I mean, you said Pharrell, you gave the shoes. I think
yeah. Wale was a big one. Rapper, and that was actually because that store that I was working at had like a concert in Bridgeport, and they had all NMG. It was like Rick Ross.
The Danbury store?
Yeah, the guy was he was in the music industry, so he used to book concerts and stuff. So like that was his strong suit.
Right.
But I remember he booked all of Maybach Music. He booked like French Montana and a bunch of other people, and it was with Big Mike.
That's him.
But then he lost all the way. I was calling him Medium Mike for a while.
Yeah.
But they're working together, and Wale was the big sneakerhead in the group, so I did a pair of customs for him, and it was kind of like the way, and then we ended up becoming friends, and he got a bunch of stuff from me, and then cosigns for him on Instagram certainly helped, and we still maintain friendship. We talk pretty often, but with the rappers, it was just kind of like it was all word of mouth. They're doing stuff for Jim Jones and Gain, and then 50, and
I mean, that's crazy. So that's how it. I mean, best advertising is always the word of mouth.
Oh, it is.
So for you, it wasn't just the social media. Once you got, because if you look at it, a lot of these shoes, it's not really that easy to find people that can do what you do.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So everything I've seen and I watched, I'm like, you could tell, like, even the Quavo, the video that Shane showed at the time, I was like, it was crazy. And then Steph Curry, like, me seeing that, so I'm like, my God, this is amazing to be able to like work with these people that you work, like, like you said, you came from a small town. And to get, this is why, like, I always say, like, with risk and hustle, you get whatever. It's basically, you didn't just risk it, you hustled to get to where you are.
You weren't afraid to hear no, and you just...
I was broke before, so I'm not scared of being broke.
Exactly. That's what I always say. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to be down where I was. It's like, and I know how to, I've been there, so I'm going to figure out how to get back up. But if I don't do it, who's gonna, like, no one's gonna come up and be like, hey, well, you know what, this is
right. So did anybody ever say no? They try to hand a shoe over, or
no one doesn't know free shoes.
No one, I just said,
maybe they don't want them. Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, so Wale was like the first like notable one I had a relationship with, but like the one that blew me out of the stratosphere was LeBron. That was the one where, like,
I
use this analogy a lot. This is when kids in Iowa knew who I was. Like, obviously, East Coast, people know, but like, he's on the LeBron shoes. So this is how it happened. I had done shoes going way first. When he was with Jordan Brand, he left, and he signed with Li Ning, the Chinese basketball company. And basically, what Li Ning was trying to do was they wanted to get some disruption, some eyes on his stuff, because everyone was like, "Why did Dwayne leave Jordan Brand go to this China company?" And I went down to Brooklyn. This is when Dwayne was still playing with LeBron with the Heat. They They were playing the Brooklyn Nets. I went to his hotel room. And I talked to Dwayne for a while, about like just kind of picking his brain. This is my first time ever meeting him too. So like I'm pretty nervous. I wasn't really used to being around celebrity-ish people like that yet.
Yeah.
So, playing it cool and whatever. So he was explaining to me, he's like, I was with Jordan Brand, but no one was buying my shoes. He goes, I thought when I signed with Jordan, I was going to get like retros, like how Ray Allen would get like a Jordan 12 in like the Miami Heat colors. But they gave him like a generic Jordan thing with the Dwayne Wade logo. He was like, he's a creative guy. He wants to be more part of the process, and he wasn't. So Lee Name basically was like, you can do whatever the hell you want. We're going to pay you a shit ton of money. And I can curse. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do it. And then he was, and as a creative guy, that's what he wanted to do. So what they did is they brought me in to help kind of generate, because they saw I was kind of bubbling up with what I was doing in the sneaker space, and they wanted to kind of have people give them a little bit of legitimacy to tie me into it. So I ended up doing shoes for him, and he was wearing them, and then re-up fine, and they wanted to pay the fine. This one, NBA still had restrictions
On shoes.
right? So he might get fined to get the eyes on the stuff. And after that year, then LeBron's, he was like an assistant or something like that. It was whenever they won the championship. I remember he emailed me or whatever. And I hit up Dwayne's people to verify this is really LeBron's guy. Because like some legend was saying, I represent so-and-so.
Yeah.
We want to get something done and whatever. So he's like, oh no, he's legit. That's him. I'm like, okay. So, and then he was like, you want to get shoes for LeBron and his mom. I was on the phone with LeBron's mom, having a conversation, did shoes for her, did shoes for LeBron, did shoes for her boyfriend. It was a whole thing. And I remember we did a pair for like the championship, and I never met him at that time. I still just sent them to him and whatever. Then maybe a couple months later, I did another pair of custom LeBrons for myself, and they were like a Transformers inspired or something like that. I posted them up. And LeBron posts on Twitter, he goes, yo, I need these and whatever. And I was like, oh, Michael, and I hit up this guy. I'm like, yo, that's me. Yeah. He's like, oh, well, we're gonna make this happen. So I had done a run of like 12 pairs for customers to buy because obviously they blew up. And LeBron was like, yeah, so he goes, but I want to get now.
So what? Sorry,
Yeah.
You did the shoe with like his name for yourself.
It's for yourself, personal.
So is that all like legal? Because
Yeah.
it's like you can use people's name and you were able to sell it too.
Yeah, I mean, I let them. I bought the shoe. That's my artwork.
Yeah.
Or whatever. They don't. I mean,
They don't pick
now they don't. Back in the day, Nike was a little weird about it because there was still like they haven't really defined what custom and whatever that stuff is. But it's like when you buy a truck and you put a lift and you put rims on it. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
That's how I can It's,
I didn't realize you could use somebody's image.
well, no, I wouldn't. You had to use him. It's how his shoes. Like it's still
Okay.
LeBron shoes, but I like did a whole thing.
Right.
But I remember he like posted a picture of like my ankles and the HDR filter. Like I need these. But then we were telling him that we were gonna run them. So he was like, "Oh, I want to use something that's like a 101 that I'm only gonna have." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Yeah. So we did an Iron Man themed LeBron for him, and I ended up going out to All-Star Weekend in Houston to deliver them to him. I did this whole like this big case, like this Tony Stark case, and the shoes, and going through TSA, like I was carrying a bomb. It was a total. Ooh, yeah, wow. So we went to Houston, went to his hotel, and I'm like in the hotel with. It's like they're like the celebrity hotel, like Drake's in there and all. Like in the Drake's big, but he's not as big as he gets now. But like he's in there, and I see like Tim Duncan, and I see like Larry Bird, and then LeBron comes out, and I give him the shoes, and it's like really quick because I was texting LeBron's manager, and he was like, yeah, he's gonna leave, to go to the arena, but we'll get him to do it really quick. So like we did it and had him sign the. I gave him his shoes. He loved them. And then I also had the shoes that he originally saw.
Yeah.
I hadn't signed those. I should have brought those. I have them I have them in a case in my shop.
I can imagine how much those are all.
Oh yeah.
One today.
It says like too much with like the cake with like a crown and his signature. So he played in the All-Star game, moved all that stuff, and then maybe like 2 months. No, not even 2 months later. It was a little bit later. He had posted on Instagram, "Thanks, Mache, for these." And I went to bed with X amount of followers and woke up with like 30,000 more followers than I went to sleep with.
I mean,
Yeah. And that was back then. That's not like, dude has like, I don't know how many millions of followers now. But, and there's also old Instagram. So,
Right.
Everyone saw it. So it was crazy. That's kind of what put me on the map. And then, that kind of blew me out to new eyes and
Right.
very more mainstream.
At what point, I guess, what was the defining moment of like, hey, I can actually turn this into a business and I'm going to make a living out of this?
It was definitely before we got married. It was when I left the store. Honestly,
Okay.
that's when we were.
So right there, right then, you were like, "Hey, I'm gonna try."
I jumped out the window.
You're
Yeah,
just,
because I was making more money doing the custom shoes than I was running this stupid store. And
is that a risk? Like you were afraid to take? Was it something that?
I was terrified. I was terrified, but I also knew that if I stayed there, I was going to go down with the ship,
Right.
and my reputation, my name was going to get tarnished just being there. So I was like, I have to do this. I had no choice.
And were you just doing it for like custom local shoes for just a way not offer, or was it just here's people at them?
Oh no, I was doing it for regular people. I mean,
Yeah.
I still do it for regular people. People
Right.
always, they see all the stories and they're like, oh well, I'm just Joe Schmo.
Right.
As long as you have a theme that I like in creative, I say no a lot, but it's like something that's like really like boring.
I was
Right.
going to ask that. Do you ever turn down?
Yeah.
Or you're like, "Hey, listen,
What's the craziest turn down that you've done?
God, like political shoes. That's for like, I'm not doing Trump shoes.
Yeah.
Wherever side you're on, I was like, I don't care. I don't want to be part of it.
Nothing.
Right.
I'm the same way. It's anything that has to do with political. I think
I'm so good. Yeah. But then there's now the custom shoe scene has blown up so big. It's like now kids are doing it. When we grew up, like paper routes or mowing lawns, that was like our little side hustle. These kids are painting shoes as they're
No, it's huge. It's
massive.
crazy. Like you see these young kids turning shoes like into like a huge business. Like they're like it really is crazy. I mean, it's amazing, but it's also scary at the same time because it's like how do they know at that age? It's very surprising because I've watched some of those videos on those shoe shows, and it's insane to me. Like how do they value them? I guess is my question.
That's like anything. People are it's worth what someone's willing to pay. And I know, when I started and I was nobody, I was charging like $50, $75.
Yeah.
I had to build up a reputation. It's just like, if you want to get a Banksy, you're going to pay that. If you want a Basquiat, I'm not putting myself in those things, but, but it's worth whatever it is because, they're sought after and you want to build up your whatever, your credit or whatever you want.
What is the most expensive shoes you've done?
I actually made the most expensive shoe ever made. $4 million.
$4 million for a pair of sneakers.
We did a pair of weights that had VVS 3 diamonds. We had black diamonds, sapphires, white gold. They're a pair of Dwayne Wade shoes.
Are you allowed to say who owns them?
But it's some Saudi prince. It was they auctioned them for charity.
And you made it from start to finish?
So we started with the Dwayne Wade shoe. It's a collaboration with this people with the Stones called BCO. It was actually. Remember Peppa from Salt and Peppa?
Yeah.
Well, Peppa's husband is a very rich man, or ex-husband is a very rich man, and connected. And it was funny because they had solicited me about doing something that was like very big. It was like doing stuff for like Swarovskis. And I was like, yeah, I can do that stuff. But like they were basically just seeing if I could do what they were planning on doing.
Yeah.
So I was doing this. So they would bring the pieces and the shoes to the shop, and they would have like their arm guard. With the case.
Like a jeweler.
Yeah. It was crazy. And then they sold for $4 million because we had seen that Nick Cannon had the most expensive shoes at the time. They were like some $1 million Louboutins. At these all the diamonds and stuff.
It's crazy to think about that a pair of shoes could go like a pair like what shoes have turned into.
Yeah.
It's just it's.
So where are you doing all this? Do you have a shop?
Yeah, so my shop is it's out in West Haven. I was in Milford. I'm actually
And you live in Danbury, right?
yeah. So my wife's uncle owned the building, and because I was working out of the house, and he was kind of and I was doing just fine, and he was like, hey, if you want to separate church state a little bit, I have space if you want to come out there. And I was like, yeah, sure, yeah, just because it's very easy like when you're working from home to be like. I'm not gonna work today. I'm gonna stay on.
That's one of those things that you're just like, I don't feel like doing it today. I'm just home or like do it.
Right.
You got to get out.
So mentally, so going to the gym.
Yeah.
Like you need to go and do it.
So I have a Phil gym downstairs. Ask me how many times we use it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's very rare, so that's why sometimes it's just mental.
It's all mental.
Getting out, it's a lot different. I mean, honestly, your story to me is like very. It's so crazy to hear like all these things.
Where it started and where it is.
Yeah.
So you have a workshop, you said, down in...
Yeah, West Haven.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's where we do the custom stuff. And then obviously we were talking about like my brand stuff. Like
Yeah.
that's a whole other.
That's the next step I want to get to, right? Like, you know, because obviously, like, you know, you have your own shoe now.
Yeah.
But my thing with you is, do you? Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is like I know a lot of like, you know, most celebrities live in towards like West Side, like LA. So do you ever thought about moving, you know, down to that side, or do you like being here?
I like to visit the West Coast. That's it.
Okay.
I'm good. I just no.
But you can work from anywhere anyway. So you may have you building a reputation.
Yeah, but if I spend bees here, like I'm in a company East Coast guy. I don't want to live down south. I like being here. I need the snow, but I want to golf. But you know, what are you gonna do? But I like the proximity of New York. I don't want to live in New York. I like to just hop on 684, go down and come on.
Same and what else?
Yeah.
Do you travel a lot for this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if you follow my stories. There's the one golfer, the kid with Down syndrome that I'm always reposting. Kid's a monster golfer, and I obviously have a connection with the community. And so like I already tugging my heartstrings, but I've been like cooking up with golf shoes and stuff. But I'm actually going to be making his own special makeup of his golf shoe. I'm going to fly down to Florida and surprise him. And I'll be talking to his dad like behind the scenes. I can't freaking wait for him to come in. There should be like any day. So I'm trying to figure out when to go and navigate through all this TSA stuff that's going on.
Right.
Right now it's
Also the traveling for that, like to deliver shoes in person.
No, it could be all different things. Like I was just in San Francisco for the finals of that Steph Curry show I was doing with him. So we were out there for a bit. I was in Vegas for the Marshawn Lynch's podcast, and then I'll do stuff for like All Star and then Super Bowl, like wherever it takes me. Yeah.
Tell us about the Steph Curry, what you guys are doing now.
So I've been working with Steph for years and years. I was doing this custom stuff, during the season. Now he's not, a free agent. But I invested in a company called Canvas, which is pretty much it's a way to kind of give other custom artists their like a platform to show off their stuff, give them resources, which is maybe discounts on supplies and things like that. But we ran a contest. I was called Art of the Game with Steph Curry, and that was my name was still Under Armour. And you had the opportunity to submit your portfolio, and if you get selected, there's 100 people that got picked to be in. We sent them a pair of blend curries, and they had like 2 weeks to do a custom for whatever it is, tell your story, whatever you want to do. So they did 100 pairs, and Steph, one of the owners from Canvas, one of the partners, and Taboo from the Black Eyed Peas, random. We're the judges. We all judged them. And we shortlisted them to 6. And then the 6 finalists got flown all to San Francisco. And me and Steph and another customizer, her name was Caddy Customs. She's based in LA, I think. We basically met all the people, got to tell their stories. It was kind of like, reminded me of Beatmaster. Yeah. Like they stood up and they told their story, and we had to judge and kind of get it all, whatever. And we had a winner. And then the finals, they filmed it. It was a whole big show and the whole thing. And then the finals, the presentation of it a couple weeks back in San Francisco, and we were up there again. So it was cool. It was cool to see the winner, and like he had his family all decked out of it. So it was kind of cool to see that. And I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I was a part of it. I was kind of. It was cool.
It's really cool.
It was just cool to see that, like where I started and the resources I didn't have, to now be part of something that has these resources, give these people these platforms. Like the fact that these people even got to meet Steph Curry and have them see their work is amazing. Because how many oops I had to jump through to get to that guy 10 years ago.
They jumped right through it, right?
And I was like, I'm like the old guy. Like, I was your age. I had to walk through snow and no one knew who I was. But it's cool to be able to kind of help that be a thing. And Steph, obviously, we have a decent relationship. I send shoes and I could just text them. He doesn't always text me back, but I'm trying not to use that too bad.
Right.
But it's really wild to just have relationships with people that people kind of put on a pedestal.
Man, that's amazing to have all this connection. It's crazy. You said something about the show, Ink Bastard. Yes, I actually used to love watching that show back in the day.
Still do.
How about like what you just said right now? That's actually a great idea. Why not? You could be actually a great
We're working
person for this.
We're working on it.
To have a show on shoes. I mean, it's huge now.
It's been pitched a couple of times to different UCs and things. It's eventually going to happen. It
should, because so many people watch and they love these.
Right.
I think it would be an amazing show.
I agree.
You'd be the judge.
I know. I was going to say, because I'm definitely not going to be a competitor. So, God forbid I don't win.
I was going to say it.
No, I said the same thing. I was like, I would love it.
God, I got to jump on this.
Yeah.
It just kind of clicked in my head. I'm like, hey, wait a second. But look, they already thought it. But
yeah, no, they've it's been presented to a bunch of different, like, I don't know what that you call me.
Starting out a network, or was it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was like Viacom was one, MTV was one.
we got to get somebody that's going to just pick it up and actually pick it up. It's I think it would be huge.
Yeah, let it be like ridiculousness and just let me collect checks and just let it write syndication forever.
Yeah.
Please. No, it would be awesome. And I think it's going to happen just because custom shoes are so big now.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. I think it's a great idea. Anyhow, I mean, honestly, like, again, you know, your story is just, you know, it's always fascinated me by, like, you know, just listen, bringing you here, it's been, you know, when I messaged you, I was very surprised, and I'm very thankful that you came, like, you know, just to hear. You know, like, I see you guys at the store all the time, you know, at our store, and, you know, obviously, like, we're connected with some friends, and they always talk about everything. I always said, man, I can't wait to, like, just talk to them about these shoes, because I want to get some of these shoes.
Yeah.
But also seeing your new shoe now, that you know, you have your own sneaker. So let's talk about that a little bit.
So the evolution of how that happened was, like, when I was doing custom shoes, I had a hit list of, like, people I wanted to work with.
Yeah.
And, like, by the time I was 40, I worked with everybody I want to. Like, I'm doing shoes for Jay-Z, I'm doing shoes for Obama, I'm doing shoes for Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock.
I was about to ask, is there somebody, it's like a dream that you want to work with, but you've named some people.
And those are lofty goals I thought I would never ever see.
Right.
So, but I don't even know now. Like, I think more, if anything, I think want to get more out of the music and sports space and more of, like, the entertainment. Like I would love to do, like, Timothy Chalamet shoes, or, like, you know, like that kind of stuff. Like, I love Bravo. I freaking love Bravo.
So you're a show guy. You love awesome shows.
Bro, like I talked to West from Summer House, and
he's watching all the reality shows that I forced him to watch.
She forces me all the time. I just sit there and, like, I'm like,
Southern Charm reunions tonight.
Wow.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm locked in, dude. No, and it's funny because, like, my wife, like, I get her sucked in. She's like, I'm not watching this crap. And then she, like, sits down. She's like,
and then you're hooked.
She's like, freaking shit. So she gets all wrapped up. And
once you get hooked with these shows, and it's honestly, it's crazy how they like these shows nowadays, they just have that hook. Once you watch that first one, you always want to continue. Even the ones, like, sometimes, like, she watches.
Or, like, why are we watching this? This is so dumb.
Then you, like, continue to be like, I want to see what's. And then I start talking, and then your day becomes that show. I'm like, why are we even having this conversation?
Yeah, no, it's true. But that's. Reality TV is never going to go away. But I love it. And Randy Cohen's one of those few guys that still want to do stuff for. I'll get there at some point. But
you get in, what's the... It's called? No, at his, the clubhouse.
Yeah.
You need to have a shoe up
well,
at the clubhouse.
What was funny was when I had done the collaboration with Peppa.
Yeah.
Whatever. She was on that day, and I got invited to go. I didn't realize that's where they were going.
Oh.
I was so pissed when I found out that I said no. And it's gonna happen though.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Have you ever said no to a celebrity?
If it was for, like, logistics or timing. It wasn't.
No.
Like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it because I mean, WWE stuff is crazy. Like, I'm working on Stephanie McMahon's Hall of Fame shoes yesterday as I was texting and doing stuff for Nikki Bella for their shoes just came in today. I have to work on those, and it's always. It's usually NFL season's over, the MLB season's usually a low, but now it's like WrestleMania season, so I get a lot of WrestleMania stuff. And
how does that work when you, like, obviously you're working, basically you're doing all this by your side?
I have one other guy that helps me. His name was Ross.
Say, like, because that's
he could do the prep. He'll do a lot of the basic stuff, but at the end of the day, like, no one's really gonna be as anal about details as I am. And I wasn't always that way. I was the typical artist. I was very free and, like, messy, and Liz would help rein that in. Like, she is very particular because she kind of showed me like you can't just let that happen. Journey it big, and people are going to be looking for chinks in the armor, and and she kind of had me sit up a little straighter and kind of get my act together, and I've been kind of like learning from a lot of the mistakes I made when I was starting out. But like having the employee, like obviously if he can get to where we need to, he'll get it to be good, but I got to get through there and make it great and give it to the quality of what you expect from me. We're not any Warble yet where I'm just stamping stuff. We're not there.
That's what I was just saying. So like, what's your future?
What's the vision?
What's the vision look like? Because being this is something that not everybody can do, right?
Right.
Do you ever think about that? Like how, like is there a way of growing it? Like any different with
That's it.
Yes.
So obviously the art's I'm always gonna love what I do.
Yeah.
And it's starting to get to a point where I'm just doing it for love now, like the custom stuff.
Yeah.
Something I have to do it. It's more again what I was saying, like there's a subject or a thing or it could be a client or whatever it is. Like I have relationships with all these wrestlers. I know I'm always gonna be doing their shoes. And that's just because they're my friends or whatever. Don't want to let them down. But then most of my time and energy is doing the own silhouette. I mean, and how that started was I used to always work with the brands. I would work with Nike, Puma, Adidas, Jordan brand. What they'll all watch for different things. Whether it was for Super Bowl, it could be All-Star Weekend, whatever it was. I would always have some kind of activation or a project that I would do. And I remember it was the All-Star game in 2020. It was in Chicago before COVID. And it was the first year I didn't get any phone calls from anybody. And I was like, damn, I'm like, all right. And I kind of was like, I kind of don't want to let these brands kind of dictate my calendar anymore. I was like, I want to do it myself.
Yeah.
And my friend Rich, who I had known for like a decade beforehand, he had all these connections to factories and manufacturing and stuff. And he always told me, he's like, whenever you want to take that next step and do a shoe, let me know. And I was always kind of intimidated by it because I was like, kind of cool right now. I'm doing shoes for whoever. Like I'm going to the parties. I'm doing all this stuff. I was content. Again, coming from where I came from, I was like, I've already surpassed what I imagined this was going to be happening. But then I got to a point where I was like, the challenge isn't there anymore. I was frustrated because I was like, okay, I've already worked with all the people I want to work with. What's the next challenge? Then COVID happened and we had some time. So we started designing the first Mache runner. And it was getting developed. It was getting made in Philly at the time, and I was going down to Philly, masked up, and going down there and developing the shoe. And that's how it started. Our original idea was Liz's idea. We were going to do a whole overarching theme about travel, but it was going to be not just travel. It wasn't going to be travel like outside international, because I think we all knew like all the great places, going to Paris and going to Greece and going to Italy. Everyone knows about those destinations. We wanted to get places that were in America that were cool, that maybe people didn't know about. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to almost like work with these locations and incentivize travel to these places and have people say go to
Arches National Park.
Right. But maybe they go there to take a photo with the shoes there and doing all this stuff. And then obviously COVID kind of threw a monkey wrench in that. But like we did a Utah shoe. We did the Dry Tortugas in Florida. We did the Graffiti Highway in Philadelphia. We did the Neon Museum in Vegas. We did Bryce Canyon out in Utah.
So would those shoes be sold at those specific locations?
Well, no, we were just going to have it so like maybe have like a voucher or something to go there and like we were going to figure out something. Right. But I wanted to tell a story, and we were obviously doing stories, based off of those different places. But that part didn't happen. But we sold the shoes, and it went really well. And the V1 was great. We did a bunch of collaborations. We did a collaboration with the Chicago White Sox. I'm a White Sox fan, so we got a collaboration with them. We released the shoes at their stadium.
You pitched for them, right?
For the Reds,
yeah,
for the Reds.
Okay.
But the White Sox. I was a big Frank Thomas fan, and it just I was like the only kid in New York that was a White Sox fan. I had novelty plates on my Toyota Celica. I would drive to Yankee games and people throw rocks in my car. I'm like, it's not the Red Sox. I'm like, come on, like it's the White Sox. We're neutral here. But so I threw out the first pitch of the White Sox game and did all. It was so freaking cool. And
how did that happen?
I was at a conference for creatives for all the sports, and every year they held a conference in like Atlanta or something like that. Mm-hmm. And the one that runs the conference was the representative for the White Sox, and obviously it's a couple day of conference. And basically, I was in there because I was doing the custom shoes for like all the NFL teams and stuff like that. So it was all hobnobbing and stuff. So late night, I'm talking to the guy and telling him I'm a White Sox fan, and then we kind of connected that way. And then maybe like 2 years later, he had the idea of doing the release, and that was great. And then after that happened, then the Minnesota Twins want to do a release. But I was like, I'm a White Sox fan, so I can't release them myself. But I was like, I'll be more happy to make them, and you guys can sell them. I was like, because we're in the same division. I'm like, I can't be doing this.
So you're not promoting that shoe?
No, like I was like, hey, you're gonna go to the Twins Fan Fest and go buy those. And but again, it was word of mouth, and they saw how good of a feedback it happened. We did collaborations with Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer. We dropped a Two Bears One Cave podcast shoe. And they have their fan base, and those went really well. And then we did a bunch of V1s, and then the V2s. What all these are.
We'll grab all of those.
Yeah.
I want to actually take.
What is the longest you've spent on a custom shoe?
I work really. I'm very efficient. Strange enough. There's been ones I've maybe worked a week on, but there's also ones I bang out in a day. Like a lot of the NFL ones. Like I remember I did a pair for Stephon Diggs, and they were supposed to be overnighted and FedEx to me and supposed to arrive to me by like 8 a.m. I had to get them back out the next same day for Monday Night Football. Cleats didn't show up until 3 p.m.
Oh my God.
I had to paint the J. Cole KOD cover on them, fully paint, art job, prep, paint, seal, dry, get them back out the FedEx overnight.
Can you imagine that stress? Oh my God.
It was crazy.
I don't think I could.
And I remember, I think Shane, we did a video of that one because he had the timer, he had the clock underneath it, and then whatever, and he ended up going off and having a great game. But yeah, that was stressful, but it also was like kind of showed how far I can push myself and not really and not sacrifice the quality and all that. Yeah. But then I have this standard that's set that's impossible to hold out.
Someone might have told us that you get easily distracted by some videos that your wife sends you.
Oh, she said that?
I shouldn't name drop and say who actually gave us a little inside.
Oh yeah, she
what kind of videos is that?
Oh, it's always cat videos. Yeah, always. And Liz is my biggest supporter, but she's also my ops. Yeah, definitely.
Is it like while you're painting a shoe? Like here's the video.
It'll go down the flurry, and then she's like, "You watching my story?" I'm like, "No." I was like, "I'm painting or I'm doing this," and no, that happens all the time. She's like, "Well, you better check," or she'll be like, don't check my stories for a day. And I'm like, and of course that's like code for like, I just totally roasted you and whatever. So. No, she's built herself up a little bit of a cult following of people that know how she busts my balls all the time and makes fun of me. Like I don't know. A couple days ago, I delivered shoes. I was in Poughkeepsie for a wrestling show, delivering shoes to the Hardys, and it was like I don't smile in photos. I just don't. I kind of just go like that. And there was a photo. She said, "Picture of us when we got married." And then a picture of Dan when he's meeting wrestlers, and I was like smiling. And she was like, "Yeah." So,
I love that.
Yeah, that's her. That's her to a T.
How is that dynamic working together?
It's good. I mean, obviously, there's days we want to kill each other, and I think that. But it's always like the same goal for us. Right. But the thing is, and I'm sure you guys being married, working together, when you guys may not agree on something.
Oh yeah.
But and tell me that I feel like you guys, or I'm going to say the ladies, will take it more personal that you don't agree, as opposed to just simply agreeing with something. Because she's like, well, if someone else said it, but I'm like, no. I'm like, I just don't like. That's not how it is.
I feel like our biggest arguments, it's always work. Related.
That's
right? Like
biggest,
all the time. Our kids are like, you guys are always arguing about boost balls. And we're just
they make fun of us.
But we're like, it's not even, we're not really fighting. It's just a debate.
Agree to disagree. I use that a lot. And by the way, I'm making a shirt.
Agree to disagree.
2x. No, it's true. And, we both care so much about what it is and, telling our stories. And obviously it's our livelihood. So we're very proud of what we built.
Right.
But, that's always it. And, like, we've already accepted that, like, we work together well, but not really. It's we're a good team, but
you got to have roles. I think that's where
it's different roles, right? Like I feel like you both have very different roles.
Yeah, you got the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator.
That's it.
Right.
You have to. If you don't, and I tell her all the time, don't step my shoes, and I won't. It's basically that's how we work because it's tough. Sometimes working together. People ask us. They ask us all the time, like, how do you guys do it? How do you guys do it?
But then we can't really think of any other way.
Yeah, we've been doing it for so long.
Yeah. Like separately.
We depend on each other. It's like when I'm having like that moment, I have to. It's the first person I call, and it's the same thing with her. Yeah. Even though sometimes I'm not great at helping out, I'm just like. Basically, when she says, "Hey, I'm down," I'm like, "All right, well, let's just keep going." Well,
I feel like there always has to be the one like motivator.
Sure.
And I think I'm always the one pushing when you kind of like step back and give up a little bit, and I'm just like, we can't give up, even though inside I'm like, I'm so over it.
Right. But that dynamic works because if you're both wired the same way, then it's just like you can't have two of the same people.
No, you can't.
We gotta just keep going.
Not.
Unfortunately, that's how it works. So let's keep.
The shoes.
Yeah, please. I'm so excited.
Let's take some of those out. Yeah, I'll actually grab.
So I'm gonna. I'll do the golf ones last. Yeah. So this one, again, I always did themes inspired by. It could be. God, it could be anything, honestly. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not a Yankee fan, but I did an Aaron Judge inspired runner. Mm-hmm. And I know Aaron Judge. I couldn't get him a pair because we don't go up to a size 17. That's what size he wears.
Size 17.
Yeah.
Now, can you? I don't know. Like, can you get a custom size 17? I mean,
so making a shoe, you have to make a last.
Okay.
And basically every time you make a last, you have to make a mold for the size. Like you can't, like, it's just an investment, and it's like the investment for one size. I mean, I love your Aaron Judge, but I'm not gonna. Can
you imagine so he has to basically get custom shoes all the time.
Custom.
Yeah, well, he's Jordan brand, so they're doing
make it for him.
Yeah, well, and also it's a basketball brand company, so they go up to that size, and I know when they signed him, they made sure, because I remember when we were doing customs for him. When he was originally with Under Armour, they were like sending him the wrong size shoes, and it was a big sticking point with him. Like, what the hell? Like you can't even get me the right size. Yeah. And he left and went to Adidas for a while, and Adidas wasn't getting the sizing right. So then he was wearing New Balances, but painting them to look like Adidas for a while because he was still with Adidas, but he was wearing New Balances, and then he finally went to Jordan Brand.
Well, yeah. So if you're with Jordan Brand, can you put on a Mache shoe?
Yes and no. So because I have a lot of friends that are on Jordan Brand that they have my shoes. They just won't wear them like wherever. Like
they can't promote it.
Like Devontae Adams is my boy. Yeah. I send him Mache golf shoes all the time, and he wears them. He loves them. But he has to wear his Jordan stuff.
Because he's sponsored.
Right. Could you photograph and use it for yourself, or not really?
I could. I mean, it's more. It would be more of me. They're not going to do it. So, right. But I remember when Josh Hart signed with the Knicks, the day he came in, he was wearing my runners, the whole thing, because he was supporting before anything. And I remember when he placed an order, he was still with, I forgot who he was playing with at the time. And I was like, oh, I appreciate it. He's like, yeah. He's like, I just like to support guys that got their shit together. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, thanks. So, then I sent some pairs to his wife and got to keep her happy. And, then it's, again, it's just relationships and just doing the right stuff. So anyway, so Judge, I was inspired not really by doing the Yankee stuff, because Yankee fans are always like, when's the Yankee shoe going to come out? And then after I did the White Sox shoe and stuff, I was like, how much it is for the license for a Yankee shoe? Because every team's different. Everyone, the MLB has different, royalties for different teams. And obviously Yankees are the biggest IP in the world next to the Cowboys or Lakers. Yeah. So I was like, we're going to try and skate around this a little bit. So we always had the dust bag with the Yankee pinstripes. I
love the branding and the box, the packaging.
So this is inspired by his when he was wearing his arm guards and stuff with the Statue of Liberty stuff.
Wow. The details just let's see. So
and it's always, we always try to do the most premium suedes and nubucks and different materials to tell the story.
You came up with the design and everything?
Yeah, that's all me.
God.
Yeah.
And then you said you have this made in Philadelphia?
No, it originally was in Philly. Now we're overseas because it just costs too much. Yeah. But
let me see the back
is everything kind of pre-order, or
we do both? This was pre-order because then some of them, if you put them together, you got my signature on the bottom.
That must be so amazing to have your own shoe.
It's dope.
It really is.
And when you step in the,
I made that.
And you step in the snow or in the rain, you put your foot in the thing, you see my signature on the bottom. It's cool. And so we always do retro cards, the old Jordans would have all the Jordans on the cards.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that, so I usually work with different
really
artists
cool.
to do like a cartoon version of every
What do you
single
think
one.
the coolest thing that like your 16-year-old self would look back on now and be like,
Right.
wow, like I did this?
God.
I mean, you've done so many amazing
Yeah,
cool
it's-
things, but
I mean, I think 16-year-old Dan would be most psyched about the White Sox just because I was a
Yeah.
White Sox fan. Like Frank Thomas is my hero, even though he's slinging freaking testosterone pills now on TV. But yeah, that was definitely big.
But you see, though, like we had that question that was asked to us. Like, what was the question that the last person asked us? Was it
the purpose?
the purpose and is it
Oh
something?
yeah,
you-
did your what was it? It was did your purpose find you or you found purpose?
I think the purpose found me, and I just had to figure out how to make it work.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, I certainly did not believe I'd be a shoe designer.
Yeah.
Right.
When it started, I thought I was going to be doing comic books.
I always
Yeah.
say like it finds you, and
Yeah.
then you just got to put just because it finds you. If you don't take it to the like, I mean, this
You
is
got to
this
put
is
in
a
the hustle
huge
and do the work.
accomplishment. I mean, like you worked on shoes basically half of your life now, right? If
Yeah.
not more, and now today you have your own shoe. It's just like it's an amazing. Like
How
not a lot
often
of
do you come up with a new design?
Usually monthly.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a lot of collaborations that are kind of like
Yeah.
in IP limbo. We're just waiting for sign offs. Like we're planning on doing a collaboration with the Mets for the '86 Mets. It's a 40th anniversary. They win the World Series. My mom was a Mets fan, so
So will it be sold not just on your site?
that's what we're
but-
figuring. That's the part we're figuring
Okay.
out. MLB's already signed off on it. We're trying to figure out how involved the Mets want to be.
Yeah.
Because they are very they're one of the teams that likes to do different stuff, so
Right.
they're definitely open to it. I think now that one spring training's kind of wrapped up, I think they'll be able to kind of sit down because I want to get these things like going.
Yeah.
Like we're in sampling now. I'm
Right.
kind of like it's already pre-baked for you guys. You
Yeah.
just guys have to sign off and let me know how much I got to pay you.
Right. Are
Yeah.
you doing anything for the World Cup?
No,
you have to.
I know.
I mean, this is
I feel like you
huge.
have to.
I
do
know,
something.
I know. I don't know because, like I said, I'm not a soccer guy. Like
Yeah.
But
I
it's-
love Matt. Like I like to go,
Yeah.
But like
Right.
I would be a poser to be like, yeah, like I'm gonna do whatever. So
I mean, this is going to be huge now.
no,
though. Like
I understand that, but again, for me,
Yeah.
I would just be a culture vulture doing
Yeah.
it because I was like, I'm not about it, and people would see, like, I just for me,
Yeah.
like I said, I like soccer, but I don't have a team. I don't have anything like.
But maybe that's the way. It's kind of like how do you incorporate the World Cup into a shoe rather than specific teams?
Right.
You
More of
I've seen
like-
cleats too. You've done like
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
do a lot of
Like,
cleats. I mean, this
I
could
did.
be,
I remember I did cleats for Usain Bolt when he played
'cause
for a
I saw
hot
that. That's
second.
what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Like it's,
For a hot second, I did Harry Kane's cleats. Then he left Nike for Skechers, which was weird. And I've done like stuff for Premier League, like NBC, but those are all like
Yeah.
I'm a hired gun to take care of something.
Right.
But I mean, again, I have so many friends that are obviously soccer guys, and I have ties to stuff. And if it happens organically, yeah. But like, I'm not just gonna be like, "Yep, World Cup's coming. What are we gonna do?"
Right.
Like that's just not me. And I think people would smell the bullshit a mile away
Right.
for me. So it's like, all right, if something organic happens, then yeah. But right now,
Well,
no,
I'm going to put it out there. I hope it finds you because I
Yeah.
think that would be really cool. We're
I
big
hope so, too.
soccer. in
well,
this house, so-
I assume that. I mean, you guys just came back from Brazil, so
Yes, yeah.
I assume that.
My son is.
I love that color,
obsessed, so,
Yeah.
Let's see. What's this
So that was a
one?
collaboration.
H-Town.
That was a collaboration with the Houston Rockets that we released at the arena. So, and again, I was talking about like, just relationships and things like that. One of my best friends, I'm totally knocking around the mic. I'd worked with him with Nike. I worked with him with Under Armour. I worked with him with the Jacksonville Jaguars as just being friends. And he's from Houston. And he became the CMO of the Houston Rockets. And he was always trying to figure out a way to work with me and do something. And finally, when he got the CMO job, he was like, "No one can tell me no. We're doing a collab." So we ended up doing a runner. It was inspired by.
I just always love packaging. I think
It's the
just-
fun, and then you know what, and that's actually like where the custom artist still comes through. Because I can still obviously
Yeah.
every single one has a new box. Like you
Right.
look at every single every Nike usually has the same box, and it's like,
Right.
but mine's like you can see people's collections and you see all the different stories in
Yeah.
the boxes, and you know which ones is which. You don't have to
Right.
look at the label. And so we did the collaboration with that, and it was supposed to be a tie-in for their
God.
Dunkstronaut, Like it's like the
man, I
astronaut,
want
like
those.
jump man thing.
Wow.
And like the branding was so cool. Like I wanted to treat it like the Jordan.
Love that.
That is beautiful.
There's a bunch of 3M hits and reflectives, and we released them again in Houston at the arena, and did a little pop up.
Is there something that we'll always find in a Mache shoe?
I mean, you're always gonna find my little cross stitching. You're always
Right.
gonna find my signature somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the main thing
The
is
bottoms.
Yeah, I mean that's my signature. So you
love
put it
that.
together, and like we developed that tooling.
Snow.
We and that was the most expensive part of development is doing the tooling with that because you have to basically you're gonna do the 3D mold, you're gonna do it in wood, then you have to do it in
I mean, I was
clay.
gonna say this is a huge investment, especially like doing
Yeah.
these custom boxes, custom.
Well, especially
yeah.
with like shoes, because you have to have all the different sizes. But it's nice that you do pre-orders, and it's just not.
But then some of these like these were we made I think we made like 300 pairs, and we obviously they released them at the arena. We did a pop up there during the game. They had them in their team shop, and then whatever was left they dropped online.
Yeah.
So and basically I just sold them to them at a wholesale for a custom shoe, and then
Right.
they obviously sold it and did their markup. But yeah, so we did that with them. We did a collab with the Brooklyn Nets and Modelo. We did that was at the Barclays Center. We dropped something there, and that was more of a sweepstakes kind of promo thing. But they were really dope, and I was trying to dig them out of my sneaker room before I got here, but I couldn't find them, or I couldn't get to them. Then
All right, now this one we've seen.
This one we've seen.
yes,
Well,
so,
not in person,
Right.
so I'm excited to
We've
see
seen
it
the
in person.
video.
Yeah.
I think you did it at our store.
Yep. So this is obviously the mixed berry smoothie.
Yep.
So what
Colorway.
inspired that? Like,
With this one was actually it was more the color story first, and then I was
Okay.
trying to figure out where this what came together. I looked at them like what because I saw the colors and I was like, these go together well, and I was just like, how do I tell a story with these colors? And for some reason that the mixed berry and all the different colors with the blues and the greens and like the
100%
burgundy.
organic.
Yeah,
I love it.
So the whole
preservatives.
the packaging we did it basically like the frozen mixed berry smoothie
Yeah.
bags.
Mixed berry smoothie, yeah.
So even like let's see, we got like the cartoon for that. And instead of the regular dust bag for this
Wow, look
for
at
this
the
one,
bag. Yeah, it
It's
has
like an
this big-
acai color.
we did it like
Look at that.
we did it like
love
you get
that.
at the store.
It's literally like when
That
you
is
buy
really
buy frozen
cool.
fruits.
That's
it's
exactly what we
basically
wanted to do. And like we did this a couple of times where like we would do like the special packaging and
I mean, that's
So I've
crazy.
noticed each of these cards have the different
Yeah.
So it's not every shoe; it's just different collections.
for this year, like that year, that's how many we had dropped at that point.
Oh, at this year.
Yeah, at that
Okay.
year, and then there'd be
Yeah.
more to come. Like if you get this by December, all the shoes are on there.
I
You know
see.
what I'm saying?
So these
So
are
do
all the
people,
colors.
for the most part, buy your shoes to collect them, or do they actually wear them?
Oh, both.
Yeah.
Definitely both.
Wow.
So that was the berries.
Yeah, see.
I love the detail with your X's.
Yeah, it's definitely just it's a good design
I love that.
element. But
It's just the color, the stitching, everything that he's done. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a comfortable. I mean, it looks like a shoe that you could wear with, like, anything too. So it's
yeah, and
very European too.
very much
which I
so.
love it.
Like that whole dad shoe vibe was a big thing, and like at the time now I'm designing for things that I want in a shoe. Like I said, I'm 46. I want comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing Jordans. I still have a bunch of Jordans, but they're not as comfortable as they used to be.
I
Right.
hear you.
Now I actually feel the differences of wide shoes and things
Yeah.
like that. So like I'm wearing more runners or whatever. And the thing that's good about them is they have flat bottoms, so like you can actually do like deadlifts and
Yep,
squats
yep.
in them. So because I actually did release last year a gym runner, and it was inspired by obviously it was like the old school gyms. I was thinking of like old Gold's gyms, and it was like a whole off white color and gum bottoms, and like it had like the toe box was like an abrasive rubber, so you could drag your toe and it's not going to come off. And the back was like the mats on the bottom of the gym. So there's a lot of elements, and like the whole packaging was all old school, like weightlifting diagrams and photos. I had like Arnold on them,
Yeah.
and like women working out, and it was really good. We did a whole line of clothing and gym bags and a whole bunch of stuff.
That's huge too, like the fitness industry nowadays.
How long is the
especially,
design process from, I guess, like starting with an idea and then to actually getting the design ready and
It varies.
getting it to this?
It varies. Some of them, sourcing is a big thing with materials because, a lot of times we can get suedes and dime and make that work. But then off the record, actually, I don't even care. We're working on a collaboration with Coca-Cola. We're dropping a Diet Coke shoe, a Coke Zero shoe, and a Coke shoe, and all three. We already made the Coke shoe internally for them, and it was for them. I haven't shown it to the public just because I'm waiting for that. You only get one chance to be.
how did that happen? Like
network again? The guy who's like a head marketing guy is a Vikings fan, and I'm a Vikings fan. And then the head of international marketing is a shoe guy.
Yeah,
and I actually just sent the Coke Zero samples to him a couple days ago. So we're just waiting for everything to sign off. And again, that's one of the biggest IPs in the world. Between that, Disney, those are the big ones.
Biggest.
So we're in the process. So like those things take a long time, but it's also like that kind of red tape and all that stuff. But development itself, like trying to find the right materials. Like I was trying to find the right material that was metallic to represent the can of the Coke Zero, like in red. And it's like I'll show you a photo, and it's like. You look at material like, how the hell did you find a material that looks like that?
So once that launches, will that just be available retail everywhere?
We're figuring it out.
Okay.
That's the Coke Zero show.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
that's
my God.
Yeah.
That is so sick.
And then like the back has like
red and black, my colors too.
It has like the
so
zero, it has like zero sugar on the back.
Wow.
So like, and then because the reason why
they've never done a shoe, have they?
They have. They've done a couple, but like, and then this is the Diet Coke one.
That's crazy.
Wow.
And then like the back says, "I heart DC," and then the Coke one.
So do you sketch out the idea?
Yeah, like on the iPad. That's the Coke one.
Yeah.
It's inspired by the glass bottle.
Wow.
Like the green, because everyone always thinks red and white for Coke. They wanted to go different. And they kind of wanted to
that red and black though, that was
they're really dope. I'm really excited. I have Coke Zero in my veins, so that was a personal project for me.
Wow.
But yeah, so like I have a little CAD, a little mock up that I'll sketch and throw colors in and whatever, and then I'll go in and bring out Pantones and all those different things, sort of codes, and then trying to figure out material call outs and. Then my guys are kind of sourcing, seeing what's possible. And they're giving me swatches, and it's always a.
And then you create a sample.
Yeah, make a sample. Okay. Like I have so many samples that just sort of like chilling. Right. Like I there's so many things that no one's ever seen that it's just like they're in my room. Like we did a collaboration with Denny's that for National Syrup Day. They had syrup in the shoes. Oh yeah, but we had to figure out how to put syrup in the shoe. Like,
oh my God.
But it was a whole big. It went viral like crazy. I remember they said. The agency said in the first 4 days there was like 1.5 billion impressions from their campaign, and that was just then. And they sold out. They sold out in under 5 minutes, like gone. And they're gonna do another round. But like
so cool.
Working projects like that, like we work pretty fast because a lot of like a Nike or whatever usually takes 90 days to make a sample, just a sample.
Right.
But then development, like a pair that you get at Foot Locker, usually that decision happened 2 years ago. They're going to development, and obviously they're putting them on a boat, and they're in storage containers forever, and that's why you never really hear about Nike releases getting delayed or stuff. But like some of my things with pre-orders, they're getting stuck in customs, or God forbid, our guy has another crazy idea, and it throws a monkey wrench and everything, and you're kind of sitting and waiting. And the best thing to do is with these customers, especially new customers that aren't familiar with the process of a pre-order, is just to be very transparent and open, and be like, hey. This is what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is what, like, I didn't take your money. Don't worry, they're coming.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing. Like, we had this collaboration with Jeff Staple we have released in December. And we always say about 8 to 10 weeks is generally the turnaround time from production to get here and whatever. But they're holding customs for a month. And it's like, like they're a month late because I'm like, like they were on time. But,
they're just held there. There's nothing you can do about it.
Especially nowadays with everything. I mean, we go through that all the time too because we order our products too, and the companies that we use, they always call us like, listen, we ordered them 6 months ago. They told us they're going to be here this month, but it's probably going to take. So unfortunately, it's just you got to have the patience.
You're at the mercy of them, and you just
there's
kind of
nothing we can do.
Yeah.
Nah.
If you can't control it, you can't control it.
I mean, if
Like,
somebody's
just let
getting
it.
these customs, you gotta be patient.
I mean,
guess,
I would
you know?
assume, but then there is people that like.
we're also
you know,
in a microwave society
Yeah.
where they want it
it's
yesterday.
like, hey, I paid for
true.
it.
Or a perfect example, like generally when you get a tracking number, it doesn't mean it's shipping right then.
Yeah,
They're generating
no.
a label. So and I tell them like, hey, like we're generating labels on Monday. We're going to be spending all week packing the orders.
Yeah.
Because that tracking number also is going to spit out your packing slip,
Yeah.
and then we line them all up, and then we fill the orders. That's how we do it.
Right.
They just think they get a tracking number and they're going like, no, that's not how it works. I'm
No.
like, we're not Nike here. Like,
Right.
I got my boy Rich filling up the boxes and they're getting them out
Putting them
and
out
waiting for
together.
the UPS guy to come pick them up.
I mean, that's a lot of work, and you're doing all this through.
It's a small circle. Like, and obviously we have lots of friends that support and do all that
Yeah.
stuff. But like, me and my wife at home, then me and my guy at the shop painting customs, and then me and my guy Rich doing orders. And his girl that helps out. Like we're a small
Hustling
thing.
every day.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not going to stop.
Right.
And the thing is, like, you were talking about, like, you got to hire people to grow, but it's also like, you also know not everyone's going to care about it as much as you
No,
do.
well, that's the problem. And then once you start growing, then it just becomes the quality. Everything
That's
is
the hardest part, I
the
think.
hardest part.
Yeah, it is. And you see it happen with all these big companies. They change,
Yeah.
they
All the
sell,
time.
the product goes down. And,
Yeah.
like, I never really want to have that. And I remember, like, what I have here is kind of like what my tool is.
Yeah.
Like I had this I'm going to name drop. I was talking to Mark Cuban about stuff, and he was like, "Yeah, you
God.
should do your classes and teach people how to do stuff." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "He's like, but the problem is you're going to create your own competition." I was like, "No, I won't, because I can't teach you how to be creative."
Yeah.
I was like, I can go into a Home Depot, and a contractor can go into a Home Depot, and everything is there to build a house.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean because I walk in, I know how to build a house, but that guy
right.
can.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't. The thing that makes me, I can't teach you.
Yeah.
Right.
I can teach you a process of how to paint a shoe.
Yeah.
And I can paint it red, or you can paint it red. I can't teach you composition and how to look at it and see where this goes and this goes.
That's
That can't be
That
taught.
comes.
Would
out
you
of
want to
That's just-
ever like mass produce and have this at like Foot Locker? Is that even a goal?
It's been pitched. I don't really want it to be a Foot Locker. I would be more boutique-y more than
Okay.
anything. Like I've had boutiques offer that want to buy wholesale and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now the golf line, that's a whole other thing.
Yep. See
So, besides the runners, I also had come out with the Promenade, which was more of a casual shoe.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
a little more of like a cup sole. So I would say it's in the neighborhood of like a Jordan 1 and a Vans. It's kind of like their love child that you can wear. And it's more like I said, it's casual shoe. You can wear them to weddings. You can wear them wherever. Like I remember I had a pair of gum bottom ones that I wore to a wedding. And your mic's going to hate me.
Nah, it's all right. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, so I did that,
We won't forget
and it
this
was that was a nice little success. And the silhouette just lent itself to just such easy color blocking. So then golf was the next kind of thing. And obviously golf and the streetwear and fashion has kind of intersected a little more with like the Malbons and all these other companies are doing collaborations with all these different designer brands and things like that. So the golf part, this is the Promenade golf shoe that we're dropping next month. This is in the animal
Oh
print.
man,
Oh wow.
So they're pretty crazy.
that is crazy.
And that it's obviously
I mean, honestly, I'm glad you guys are doing this because when I started playing a little bit.
He's missing a golf trip right now. By the way, his
I-
friends
yeah.
are on a
all my
golf
friends
trip.
are actually on a golf trip. They're in Florida this weekend. I mean, this whole week. But buying shoes, golf shoes, for me was the most boring thing.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't, it's not like, golfing was my thing, but I started and I actually enjoyed it. But every time I would go somewhere, I'm like, oh my God, these shoes are just so ugly.
Yeah, they're very plain,
Finally,
traditional.
I went online and I was like, and then I look at Jordans and
Jordan
I was
ones.
like, I found them. I was like, this is it. And I would show up to golf courses and they're like, what are you wearing? I'm like,
Yeah,
listen,
you're fun.
Yeah.
I
I'll
can't
make
be the
fun of
same
you.
as everybody
Yeah.
else. I'm like, this is just, I can't see myself wearing those shoes. So this is amazing to like see something. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like,
So is this the first like golf shoe that you've done? You've done.
We've done a couple of releases.
Yeah.
Actually, the Jasper golf shoe is out right now. It's inspired by the Louis Vuitton colorway.
is this real skin or is it?
It's fell.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
gonna,
Yeah. We
I was
should.
gonna say because that is really actually cool. Like
So-
when you touch it, the feeling.
Now,
of it, it's-
what do these go for?
$220 is retail. That's
Wow.
right. That's right
That's
in
not
the
bad.
that's right in the ballpark of. So these are the Jasper Golfs.
Is that kind of your range of
That's the
most
Jasper.
of your shoes? Oh, those are really
For the
nice.
golf shoes.
Yeah.
And then like we got the whole golf line. Like we got the runners usually are in the 290 ballpark. Collaborations might be a little more just because we got to pay both people.
Yeah.
And then we have
So like the Berry shoes, what are that typically?
they were
run for?
290.
Okay.
Yeah, then we did like the black ones, and they had like cracked like Margiela leather.
There you go. But this is what I'm saying. Like they gotta
That's
just.
a lot better. Yeah.
It's
And the thing is, like the Jordan stuff was cool, but the novelty's already wearing off.
Yeah.
You know, like every freaking tech bro is wearing Jordan 1s thinking they're cool.
Everybody.
And it's so like, but then we started doing like more lifestyle stuff, like look good, feel good, play terrible. Like
I love it. That would be me.
yeah. And the things we all relate to it.
that would
We
be
all,
me.
we
Well,
all
you go on these
I gotta
golf
get
trips.
that
It's
shirt.
not
We all
that you
relate to
actually
it.
enjoy playing
Oh
golf.
my
You
God.
just
But-
kind of go.
but
I mean, I enjoy it now. It's fun, but it's not something like you know. Her brother. He's obsessed.
Yeah.
He'll go
It's
by
like-
himself and play for hours.
I don't think I've ever done that. Like
I can't play with myself. I'll go to the
exactly.
ranch. I'll go to golf ranch
yes,
and go
me
smack
too.
balls.
I do the same thing.
I'm gonna
I
do it
bring my
today.
son.
I'm gonna lay her up and go
There
hit
you
some
go.
balls today.
Like I could do that, but I can't just go on. Like he would. And actually even his friends, same thing. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go play golf by myself." I'm like, "How do you guys go play by yourself?" They're like, "Oh, we just match up with somebody." And I'm like, "I'm just not that comfortable with just meeting a stranger, and just
Right,
go,
and just,
"Oh, let's
I'm
hit the
gonna
ball."
suck.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not doing.
I'm
that.
a vibes guy. Like I'm the guy with the speaker. I'm hanging out. I'm waiting for the car girl to get the beers.
Yep, right. Light a cigar
That's
and
what I'm
just
saying.
enjoy it.
I'm gonna spend 4 hours and hopefully no one's behind me. But yeah, I mean that's as a competitor. As soon as I accept that I'm not going to play well, I can enjoy myself.
Yeah.
and just know. Then like the 17th hole, you hit one that's good, and it brings you right back. You're like, oh man, I can actually.
Yeah.
It sucks you in.
It's fun. I enjoy it, but they get a little too crazy with it. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
About the
it's not
hours,
that-
I think you go on these trips and you're like, all right, let's play for like 2 hours, and then it ends up being
Oh,
like
it's
6.
when you do like 32.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like it's an all day thing.
Like if I do 9, I'm happy. Do
I'm
9.
the same thing.
Cool.
I'm like 9, 18, whatever. Like I'll go, but and all day. By the time you get home, you're like literally exhausted.
You're
I'm like
shot.
falling
You're
asleep.
shot.
Like yeah, it's a
Even with the cart.
you think you're in shape when you have no idea when it comes to like golf.
I haven't done it.
It's crazy.
And the problem is with me, with doing the custom shoes for so long, my hips and psoas are so tight.
Yeah.
I can't get my hips around, and it's funny because like I'm hurting all the time. And I'll post my video on Instagram. Like, gotta get your hips around. I'm like, I know, I can't. I'm like, don't even bother.
I'm just having fun here. Just
That's what I'm
let
saying.
me be. You know,
let me struggle in peace. But yeah, we have some dope golf ones. So, like obviously these are the next release, and we're doing one that's not golf too. Just like I'll have like the flat bottoms.
It actually looks really cool.
Yeah, and then we have a Badlands. We had a Badlands color, the runner, back in 2022. It was a really dope color. It was like grays and like a little bit of red hits, and we did a golf version of it. And we're doing like a wind shirt, like a whole, like we're doing the whole shebang.
That's amazing that you get. I mean, it must be very exciting to like.
Hell yeah!
It must be a fun job. Like, do you like it or do you love it?
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Is it stressful? Yeah, it's my stress.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have any other way. I couldn't
But
work for anybody else.
You wouldn't do anything else.
No.
There you go.
You know,
So
it's bad enough when you got to work with a brand. It's great to work with a brand, but also like you don't want to go on Zoom calls and do
I
like,
know.
hey, let's have a call. Like for what? So you guys can put your meeting minutes in. Say you
Basically.
yeah. And they micromanage. I'm like, bro, I do this for myself, so I not micromanage.
Right.
Let me know what you want done. Trust me what I do. You came to me for a reason.
Right.
In the nicest way possible.
Do you ever change up designs completely? Like, because you know what somebody requested isn't really going to work.
The Coke ones. They wanted the white and red, and I was like, trust me. They're like, just do them. And then they're like, okay, we kind of like the green. I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah. But bro, I'm gonna appease them.
You do this for a living, so you know what works.
But I'm also not gonna make Coca-Cola mad. So
Yeah.
I'm like, sure, guys. I'm like, well, I'll go through the motions and whatever.
Who do you think your biggest competition is?
It's hard to say because everyone's myself, honestly.
Right.
And and that sounds kind of cliche at this point, but it's like everyone likes what they like, and there's so many options and things that everyone has a lane and everyone has an opportunity. Just because you like mine, you don't have to not like somebody else's. Like
Is there a lot of people though doing what you
independent,
do?
there's been a lot more independent designers now.
Yeah.
There's a couple that I knew before me, and then there's been a lot more, and a lot of more customizers have tried to throw their hat in there, and some have done well, some are just kind of like doing it for the dream and whatever. But yeah, I mean, there's obviously people I don't like. But
Right.
not like they're taking food out of my mouth. It's just kind of like as a more of a
Right.
character thing more than anything else.
Yeah.
Just seeing how people move.
Well, if you see like a brand like Coke, do they have multiple people that they're kind of being pitched and you're
Sure.
they pick
Oh,
you
sure.
among
Well, maybe.
a bunch?
I mean, like
or-
they've done collaborations with Converse, and they're dropping stuff with Adidas. I mean, I don't really compare. I don't put myself in the same categories. I mean, though, at some point I
mean,
aspire to be.
yeah.
No, I aspire to be that way. But independence, it's a different thing. It's more like the if you know kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'd like to be somewhere in between. If you know, and we know about them. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to be like the big sellout part of
Yeah.
it, because for one, I don't need the stress.
Right.
I'm already gray and bald as it is. I don't need any more.
Listen, as long as you're enjoying it, you love what you do. I think that's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, no matter how much you make, if
you don't love what you do, then it's just
not gonna make
Exactly.
you happy.
Point.
So
No
as
matter
long as
what.
you're enjoying it, you know what you're doing. It seems like it. I mean, like all these ideas. I mean, the creativity and everything you do. It's every day. If I woke up and I had something new like this, I wish I had the brains to even think about this stuff. It's just, for me, it's amazing to look at it, and wake up every day and see something that I've created. Like I always said, the brand that we created, every time I drive by, still today, I'm like, oh my God, that's mine. So for you to have these shoes and everything, and especially when you see people wearing it,
Oh, it's so dope.
it must be exciting,
It never
right?
gets old.
Like
Never.
when we had the what was it, the fitness studio, the girl actually that bought it from us, she changed it, but she took the brand.
Yeah,
To
she
be
put it
honest,
more
you
on she branded it better and put it on leggings, so we would be at the gym and
And I would
see a
see
random
people
person
wearing
it.
and
And we were
I
like,
literally
oh, that's really
drew
cool.
up my design,
Yeah.
the logo, and to see that on somebody, and I would see these girls wearing it, even though I didn't put that in the clothing, seeing it was just amazing. So I
Right.
can imagine you seeing somebody walk with
Sure.
these shoes.
Yeah.
It's
cool.
it's the coolest thing, I think. It's
And even seeing older shoes or like releases from a couple years ago. I just recently, we had done a pop up in New Orleans, and it was inspired by the St. Charles streetcar. So it was the olive green with the red and whatever. And some guy was on the streetcar wearing the shoes on the car, and I'm like, that's dope. That's
is.
cool.
Yeah.
It's
That's
cool
what I
to
wanted
see
to
that.
Have you
Like,
ever
imagine
seen
it's-
somebody randomly wearing it, but they don't know who you are?
Oh, yeah.
And you do you
Oh,
go
yeah.
up to them
Oh, yeah.
that's my shoe?
That's my shoe.
I'll be like, I would usually oh, the shoes are awesome. I heard the guy's a real dick though. That makes him I heard that.
I bet he does that.
Yeah.
Do they recognize you?
I mean, after a fact, they'll kind of put it together. But because I don't know, I think I do a decent amount of showing myself. But I don't know, I don't try to make it so much about me, the more the creativity part of it.
Yeah.
Even around here, some people know who I am. Some people don't have no clue who I am, and
Right.
it's cool that I can just go to.
It's better to
Bagel
keep it a
Man.
little
No
low.
one knows
Right.
who I am.
Well,
'Cause
I
then you
love
get-
the level that you're at. I mean, you're
it's-
pretty,
yeah, it's-
worldwide at
Right.
this point, and then to be local and have this amazing story to tell.
Well, that's
and
why
I mean,
sometimes it's good to live in the East Coast too. I think because
Yeah. They
you're
don't
a
care.
little bit away from
No.
They don't
all
care.
the craziness.
Yeah,
you
no.
know, because
Yeah, because I go to other cities, it's a little different.
Yeah.
I remember in Houston, I was taking photos everywhere, and I'm like, oh,
it's tough.
Did you, have a
Messes
security,
me.
did you have a security guard with you?
I could hold my own.
mean-
I'm all right. I was actually at a wrestling
He
show.
doesn't need
delivering-
one. He looks like a security guard.
I was delivering shoes this past weekend, and one of the wrestlers, he's like, he goes, what did he say? He's like, do you power lift? And I was like, I lift, and I was like, man, my whole night, because dude asked me that, and I was like, because I was trying on a hoodie, I took my hoodie off. He's
Yeah.
like, oh damn, he's like, you power lift? And I was like,
Sometimes.
I throw a little weight around. But I was like, damn, a lot of powerlifters are big fat dudes. I'm like, I hope you're not thinking that.
Do you travel with an entourage? Or
I got my boys. They go
Yeah.
with me. We go to different. Every year we we always try to go to every All-Star game wherever it is for MLB.
Right.
My two boys, my two buddies, like
Yeah.
we're like we got a running joke. We're called the Mosaic Gang, and the joke is with JetBlue. And at the time, we were going to Seattle for the All-Star game. Amy and my buddy were flying. We were meeting my other buddy in there. And at the time, I was flying Mint. I had Mosaic, all this stuff. I check my bag, and he goes and flies regular, and he's busting my balls. He's like, "Oh, Mr. Fancy Pants, go in your suite." So then we get to Seattle. My bag doesn't show up, but his bag shows up. He goes, "Oh, Mr. Mosaic, your bag doesn't show up." I had to go to Target and go buy underwear and stuff. So for like the first 2 days, like they're busting my balls. So like our group chat is now called Mosaic Gang. And now I'm Team Delta.
It's good that you do that.
But my brother's Delta too.
I love Delta, but they were talking a lot. They was talking so much shit yesterday about it.
Well, it's because all this stuff, the
canceled.
traveling.
Everybody's
and
like, "Oh, we
everything's,
should have won with
getting
JetBlue."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. When I go fly down to surprise him with those shoes, I'm trying to figure out what my best move is because he's outside of Tampa. So
I got right now.
I might try to go to Westchester and see if I can.
Flying out of Westchester is so much easier.
That's what we try most of the time, especially when we're going.
It's either Westchester or Hartford, or the two I'll try. I'll try to go to Bradley, but like. I mean, if you gotta do JFK, do JFK. If I'm going like West Coast, because I'll like I said, I'll be bougie and fly Delta One and go not deal with all that crap.
Yeah, of course.
But if it's just like a short 2 hours, you're going to Florida, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll sit in JetBlue and watch a movie.
Right, exactly. It's a quick flight.
2 hour flight, whatever, an hour flight. Like when we go to Michigan too. I mean, we go to Florida a lot, but especially in Michigan, it's the easiest. White Plains.
My brother lives in Michigan. That's why.
I got you. We always go to Minnesota because I'm a Vikings fan, so we go to games and do stuff. We went out there for Christmas for the Christmas game. Vikings were playing the Lions, and we were in a suite on the field. Yeah, and awesome. And my wife's a massive Peaky Blinders fan. Yeah, so like Netflix had the suite next to us rented out for Peaky Blinders, like a promo. Oh, she wasn't even watching the game; she was just talking to all the actors. She's totally enamored by that. So she can't wait for the end of the month when it comes out.
Does she get to travel with you a lot?
Yeah, well, she wants to. She usually doesn't she doesn't want to fuss with all of it, but she does love traveling. Like we do like a lot of international stuff. Like last year, we went to Dublin and London for the two Vikings games that were back to back. Yeah, and we brought our parents with us, so it was cool to like have them. Yeah. We were like in the suite at Tottenham for the Nike suite, and they took care of that. It was actually my people with Canvas
connection. It's always good.
We saw Taylor Swift at freaking Wembley Stadium in the suite. Because of that, we actually saw Taylor Swift twice in the suites. The first time she drank a whole bottle of wine and passed out before the show was over, so she missed it. So we had to make sure to make it up for her because that was for her. It wasn't for me. I mean, I did enjoy myself. I'm not gonna lie. It was fun. But we're going to see Metallica at the Sphere in October.
Oh, that's amazing!
And they're still doing shows.
Yeah, well, they're just starting to do the Sphere. They're doing like a little residency. That's cool. I'd never seen them live. I've seen so many. I never saw Metallica. So she was like, "I'll go see Metallica," and I was like, "Really?" She goes, "You can do Taylor Swift twice. I'll go see Metallica."
Oh my god!
I was like, "All right." She was like, "I know some songs." I'm like, "Okay." So I'm just hyped because every time I go to Vegas, she's like, "Don't go to the Sphere without me," because she hasn't gone yet, and I obviously haven't gone because I want to stay married.
Yeah, no,
she's like, "Don't go see the Wizard of Oz."
I've seen like videos of people posting, and you're just like, "Wow!"
Exactly. So I'm excited to go, but yeah.
Well, if you can give one advice to a young entrepreneur, somebody trying to make it, I was
just going to ask him that, but all right, that's fine. Go ahead.
What would it be?
I did say this on Marshawn Lynch's podcast, but it still holds true. Social media.
Yes, I actually heard that one.
Yeah, it is really true. And I want to give a little context to what I was saying because it was funny. Like some of the people that commented in the post, they kind of outed themselves or like kind of snitched on themselves because they were like they took offense to it. I'm like, I just don't want people to talk smack and kind of take people off their dream or their goal. I think because obviously banter and fun stuff, that's fine. But when you get people that are young kids that are following their dreams and they're not sure how it's going to be, they're afraid. It's a very big step. And you get some guy that's just bored that is miserable with their lives, like this guy sucks or whatever. That might derail their whole career because they took that word or like I mean, it sounds so like so dramatic, but like people like kill themselves because of what people say on social media.
It's true.
It's true.
It's sad.
Especially today.
And that cloak of anonymity is crazy. Social media is great because it gives everybody a voice, but the bad part is it gives everybody a voice. and everyone's
It's
voice
very
is just as
powerful.
loud.
Yep.
Right.
You know, it could be some idiot that's just whatever, holds just as much weight as LeBron James talking to you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so
That's the truth.
that's the biggest thing is don't let those people deter you. I think you got to keep your goal in mind, and obviously if you hear stuff, and I've given Liz this advice too, you know, like they're saying something or you hear something you don't like or whatever, you can't ignore it, but just be like, that's over there. That's not helping me get to where I got to go.
Right.
And just
Always stay
forward.
focused.
Always.
And have a vision.
Yep.
'Cause it's-
Well, I think our goal is to really share stories like yours, because I think, especially with social media, you kind of see the end game and
Sure.
where you are now.
the highlight reel.
And people don't know what, the last 20 years have been like, and, growing up in the trailer park and then
Living off the Mickey D's
People,
dollar menu.
yeah, people always see the top.
Exactly.
Yeah, bro.
I always say the same thing here. They always see the top, but they don't
that
understand
journey
the
and
journey you
the-
went through to get to where you are.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, a lot of them just don't want to hear it because then they connect with you and then
Yeah.
they see themselves.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, there's a positive and negative to it.
Yeah.
People are looking to be inspired, and other people don't want to have a reminder of like, fuck, I could have really been doing this, but I played myself for 20 years.
Right.
And it all depends on the perspective, honestly.
Yep.
It is. I know. I mean, we always stop and, you see one store sales go down a little bit, and it's easy to just blame, hey, it's the economy, it's whatever, but you got to dig deep and really like, what more can I do?
Mm-hmm.
Have we really done it all? And a lot of the times the answer is no. There's way more you can do.
Well, I'll tell you what.
There's always.
I'll tell you one thing that will boost your sales, at least in the Danbury location, is you keep that damn Dubai chocolate bowl. My wife will buy it every single day.
Oh my God! It's
She when you guys were on that tear, she was sending me there like every single day to get it. And then when it was finally done, and I remember there was one time she wanted it and she didn't want something. I remember like all very nice girls that work
Yeah.
in there. I was like, hey, can you do this? And they like, it looked like they were have like a brain malfunction.
Yeah.
They're like, we can't. I'm like, and of course me, I'm like, say it's for me. They're like, no. I'm like, okay. Again,
Yeah,
very nice
Well,
girls. They're listening to their boss.
Do you
Yeah.
hear this?
No, I
because
do.
he was against the Dubai chocolate bowl.
Yeah.
So this
Well,
is
I
great
was
that you're
against 'cause
saying
it
this.
was a lot of work. It was very hard to find it. A lot of
I
people
remember.
don't
I
understand.
remember you guys were testing the different ones.
It's
The butter's really expensive
we
too.
went through
so
like,
we were like, do
so
people?
many
Yeah.
butters, so many places, and I didn't want to just have a butter that everybody had it, right? I wanted the authentic because you even see it nowadays, like where everybody has
It's
it.
a
Like you
freaking
go to
Stop and Shop.
places,
Yeah.
and you're like, but it's not real because people don't understand it. They just basically go and see Dubai chocolate or whatever, and they're like, but it's not because you got to like we've been
It's like that
to
pistachio
places
syrup that I can't
especially
stand.
in Michigan when we went like. There's a lot of people over there that like literally hand make this thing,
Right.
and we tried and it was amazing. I was like, I want that. And that's what I brought, but it was very pricey.
Right.
Like,
So
I'll be honest,
what's your-
we weren't even making money in it, but it was bringing people in.
right.
And it, we enjoyed it.
I saw it as a good marketing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Hey, as long as the ROI is good on it, then
Eventually, I think, you know what, we might bring it because we keep hearing
And
it all
honor
the time.
Mosh, we'll bring it back.
Yes.
put it on her Mrs. Mosh. Give her the credit for that.
But what I would love, with these connections of yours and all that, what you can do is maybe one day if you're delivering a shoe, bring one of these celebrities in my store and deliver your shoe at my store, and then I wouldn't mind.
hey, we should get into Connecticut. That's all we
I
gotta
know
do.
that's the hardest
Yeah.
part is getting them here, right?
Right.
You always got to like just fly down there.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm trying to. Probably the easiest ones to get would be any of those WWE people because obviously they're in Stanford.
Yeah.
But oh God, I have a couple of stories, but I'll make other people look bad, so I won't say it. But yeah, some local people.
I've gotten people where they walk, and I've had like my employees don't even know who they are. Like I've had a couple of celebrities, and then they post on their because I follow some people, and,
Sure.
and I would go on their stores, and I'm like, that's my store. But obviously they don't tag
They
because
don't
they don't
tag
want
the
to,
store, yeah.
And I'm like, and then I'll call the store. I'm like, girls, was this person here today? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, do you even know?
Well,
who
I
that-"
think the fighter.
Alex
he,
was
in-
like,
he
he
lives
in
posted a
Danbury.
whole
Right.
video with our like "Made with Love" sign
Yeah.
at Bethel, and he's just like talking, and nothing to do with Boost Bowls. But
Right.
we were like, he's like sitting in our store making this
Yeah,
video.
we had a couple. I mean, I don't know if we're allowed to say, but we
Yeah.
had a couple. Even in Mystic, like because our Mystic location is very, you know, it's a very touristy place.
I was
and
gonna
there's
say,
a lot
yeah.
of places people go there. And I always tell them like keep an eye on it. Like if you and they're like, well, we're
Take a
so busy
picture.
sometimes, like we don't even know who's walking in and out. Or
We're also really bad at that, like asking people, like,
Sure.
hey, can you take a picture? You
Right.
know, it's
Yeah.
just, I feel like
I get
you're
it.
just coming in, you're just
well,
trying
you
to
also
be
don't
you.
want to bother people. Like
Right.
think about it. Like somebody walks in, like you said, it's I want to have my space. I don't want
get
to be
it.
bothered all the time. So I get that.
But I feel like Mache just went for it, and
Yeah,
you know, you just
but back then for sure, and I think there's nothing to lose. But like now, with like it's tougher now because I develop relationships with these people.
Yeah.
So like blurring the line of like fan and friend,
I know.
it's a little
Yeah.
tougher.
Yep.
So like when I met Jay-Z, I'm like, bro, we were in a environment where his guard was down, where it was Nipsey Hussle's Grammy thing. It was when Nipsey was still alive.
Wow.
I did stuff with Nipsey with Puma
Yeah.
for the Grammy. But we were at Nipsey's party. Like Dave Chappelle's there, Snoop Dogg's there, Jay-Z's there, like all these people. But it's all people that are supposed to be there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was like, I'm like, just to let you know, I was like, this is the only time I'm ever going to talk to this guy. It's like this. So I just walked up. I'm like, just to let you know, I did all your shoes for the 444 tour. I was like, I'm a fan. I'm going to be a fan for a hot minute. I was like, I got to get a picture with you. And he's like, yeah. You know, there's a picture of like him holding a drink. But then you see Nipsey Hussle in the background. And it's just like, this iconic photo. It's just like
What a
crazy.
moment.
It was crazy. But then fast forward maybe like, like 2 weeks later, I was at the Rock Nation brunch for the same thing. And Nipsey was there and all these people. And like I already knew Nipsey and I knew Lauren London and them. But I'm watching everybody that like is almost like embarrassing themselves, falling over to like take a picture with like Beyonce or
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm like, I just don't want to be that. I don't want to be those people like shooting their shot because they're never going to get invited ever again because
Right.
they don't know how to act.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to
they
move
want to
through.
be left
Need the
alone.
balance.
They're
Yeah.
human beings too. Last thing they want to do is like every day just dealing with, and especially in your professional, you know, thing. You got to make sure you keep it professional.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
if you just
And I know, and you know, when I have these conversations, like I'm trying not to talk about work. I'm like talking about other stuff, and you know, because then you know,
Yeah.
it's like it's a
and it's
normal
like you're looking like
relationship.
you're selling. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this guy's trying to sell me shoes. Just go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
one thing I actually forgot to ask: how did the name Mache come about?
My last name's Gamache.
Okay.
So when I played baseball, there was 4 Dans on the baseball team.
yeah.
So we started going by our last names, and then Gamache just got shortened to Mache,
Yeah.
and it stuck. So my iPhone says it's Mache. It's not
Yeah.
Mache. But that's how it's always stuck. And yeah, I've always introduced myself like that. There's a million Dans, but
Yeah.
there's a couple Mashes I found out.
Yeah. Really?
A few, but
There is. So do
not
you
many.
introduce yourself as just
No, I'll say
Mache?
Dan. I'll say
Yeah,
Dan, and then if we get into what we're doing, then I'll kind of say.
Yeah.
It also depends on who it is. If it's like someone that might know from that, I'll lead with that. But if it's just
Right.
like a normal person, I'm like, I'm Dan. I'm good
Yeah.
to meet you, and whatever. And then what do you do? And then I gotta,
And then you
then,
get
it,
into
then it goes into interview mode. And I answer the questions. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
Well,
think we're good.
I appreciate your time for being here again.
sure.
You know, it was a very exciting moment to have you here. So
Very
Thank you.
inspiring.
Very inspiring.
We really
Cool.
appreciate
Absolutely.
it. And I
Yeah.
mean, our goal is to, change one person's life. So I'm sure this can change many. And
Yeah.
to hear your story and inspire and being local, I think
Yeah.
it's even a bigger thing for us.
yeah. I mean, and the thing is, like, I'm so big on supporting local. I mean, obviously you guys, but
I
like,
appreciate
when
that.
I find
That's-
other spots that are like new or like whatever, like obviously I'm not being like, hey, I'm so and so.
Yeah.
Like I'm going in there, I'm DoorDashing. No one knows it's me.
Yeah.
And I roll up. So and I'm like, just a lot of people know what I do for a living. I'm Dan. You know what I mean? That's
it.
how I roll.
Well, we appreciate the support at Blue
sure.
Schools, and
Yes,
we'll
thank you.
have to figure out how to get this Dubai back because
Yeah.
I think we've
I
been out
know.
for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on, and we made it happen.
Yes,
I
thank you.
know, with
Sorry,
everything
we
like-
Oh,
literally
good.
Val got so
Oh my
sick
God.
after
Right after I
that
came
trip.
from Brazil,
Yeah.
like I think I got sick at the airport because we were staying. It was delayed, so we were staying from a lounge.
We
to
were
another
there for
lounge,
like
and there was
5
many-
hours.
and I was just eating. I was
Yeah.
eating food in all these
Yeah.
lounges. I was like, you know what? There's food. I'm just gonna keep eating.
At some point.
As soon as I came home, I just
And that
yeah.
was awful. We were like,
The next
you're going to
day,
cancel
I
on
couldn't
Mache?
get
I was
up.
like, get your
Yeah.
act together.
Shane texted me and he's like, how'd it go? I was like, oh, buddy, you have no idea.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, don't worry about it. I was like, I know. I just felt bad, like literally last minute. I just confirmed with him and then I told him that I couldn't. I was like, I got to figure out another day, but I'm glad it worked out.
Yes,
So
thank you.
Yeah,
Really
no, for
appreciate
sure.
it.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah. No, thanks for having me.
All right.
All right,
Well,
that's
thank
it.
you.
Thank you. And we'll be back.
Subscribe to the Risk and Hustle podcast.
There you
Well,
go.
Tell a friend and
actually-
tell a friend.
And Nat, tell us how we can get your shoes.
Oh, well, you can follow on the old gram,
Yeah.
Mosh275, and then moshcustoms.com in the shop. Like I said, we have stuff there always on there. We have releases probably monthly, but then we keep things on the site. So you pop in, and if you want to get a custom, we can do that too. But
Of course.
yeah.
That sounds great. We'll make sure
Thank
to
you.
link that in there too.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks, guys.